CBI unveils new banknote security features. This also should bring something to your attention. If they are adding new features to the currently existing banknotes without changing the denomination, deleting the zeros or exchange rate, that should tell you that there is no rush for them to do anything about the exchange rate. If they knew they were about to go ahead and release new banknotes with the 3 zeros missing and change the exchange rate, there wouldn't be any need to go ahead and add security features to the old notes, because there would be no reason for it. If you're going to get rid of the old notes, why take the time to put new security features on there? See what I'm saying? That should be an indicator to you that they are not in any rush to redenominate and change the exchange rate. Sorry as usual to pee in your Wheaties, but that's just the truth. Iraq has set an ambitious goal to increase non-oil revenues to 20% of its national income. This is urgently important because the IMF will not support Iraq's increase in currency value until it has more non-oil annual revenue. If you remember, Iraq almost went bankrupt during the pandemic when oil revenue went to nearly zero. The reason why they're using the 3-0 notes to educate the Iraqi citizens is not just because they will coexist with the new small category notes, but they will look exactly like the old notes. The only difference is the zeros will be gone. Multiple forex traders have reported that they have had to sign new terms of agreements focusing on currency exchange values. I find that very interesting, and believe it is a key thing to do before they flip the switch. President of the World Economic Forum, Iraq is one of the important countries in the Middle East, and the world president of the Republic to president of the World Economic Forum. Iraq is a fertile environment for investment and trade cooperation. In Iraq they're going to be using the dinar, that's all there is to it. If they change the value of their currency, it's likely they're going to be using the dinar because it's going to be a strong currency, and it's relatively likely to lead to a basket of currencies, just like everybody else is relative to a basket of currencies in some shape or form. The whole thing falls on one thing: the amendment budget readings. If we're waiting for a float or a basket, what is it that's going to give us the float or the basket? The amendments. If they pass the amendment, all hell is going to break loose, but this time in a good way. Question: do you think Trump knows when we'll RV? Marks: I do know someone from inside the new administration who has absolutely every reason to be up to speed because of where they are at. They are saying that the value change in currencies is on the absolute top of their list. It was reassuring to hear that from a political source that this is a priority. Also, this person is a currency holder. This revaluation would fix a lot of problems. I cannot say more without getting into lots of trouble. The CBI is being very cautious to see how the US Trump administration is going to play out. Remember that Iraq is ditching the dollar, but Trump has vowed to keep the USD as the reserve currency around the world. Remember, Iraq just de-dollarized and would love to get off the petrodollar and find another peg or basket of currencies to peg to. I know for a fact the IMF has been working on this new basket of 6 currencies for this purpose. Will the US Treasury under the Trump administration accept it? Let's see how this plays out. There is new sheriff in town, and his name is Donald Trump. What will his policy be towards the Iraqi financial system? 4 years have passed since his last administration, and there has been way too much progress in the banking and financial reforms to turn back to the days of the prior Trump administration laden with sanctions. I am told by my CBI contact that al-Sudani is hoping for an invite to visit the new president in Washington, or better yet have him come to Iraq. Question: is it essential to have your lawyer present when you make the exchange? What type of lawyer should I take with me? Tax lawyer, a domestic lawyer, a lawyer that's involved in things that you are going to be involved in general a tax lawyer is probably what I would recommend. One of the key things in a monetary policy when they go to revalue a country is they have high security. They want to tamp down currency manipulation. They want to stamp out the black market. That's all part of the process. Article quote, any attempt to manufacture, possess or pass on fake banknotes is a criminal act that is severely punished by law, calling for the delivery of any fake banknotes to the police and to the Central Bank of Iraq. I heard this from several different groups. No taxes on our exchange. We are starting to hear more and more logistics on this thing. There is progress and movement happening. A source in the Rumaila oil field in southern Iraq reported on Friday that a large fire broke out in one of the refineries, injuring 6 workers with varying injuries, while firefighting teams are struggling to control the flames. The source told Shafaq news agency, 6 workers in the refinery were injured in the fire, one of them suffered a broken leg, another suffered burns to his face, and the others suffered various injuries. He added, the fire broke out in a tank at the 5th station in the northern Rumaila oil field, and the fire is still burning, and the firefighting teams are trying to control the flames to no avail. The source indicated that detachments from the 9th Brigade of the Energy Police participated in the process of extinguishing the fire that broke out in the 5th gas isolation station, and a tight security cordon was imposed around the area of the fire. Later, the source pointed out that the fire brigades were unable to contain the fire that spread to the 2nd tank in the 5th station. Political analyst Sabak al-Aqili said on Thursday that Iraq is facing a real challenge in light of America's control over its economy and its arms projects with other countries, noting that America is pushing towards keeping Iraq weak in the face of the capabilities of the Zionist entity. Al-Aqili told Al-Maluma, the United States of America controls the Iraqi economy, controls the armament file, and imposes its conditions on Baghdad regarding contracting with countries in terms of projects and arms contracts. He added, Iraq is facing a real challenge in light of America's control over the Iraqi economy, as it aims through this to keep Iraq weak in front of the Zionist entity as it is part of the axis of resistance. He explained that the new U.S. President Donald Trump has his intentions towards the Middle East and the region in general, especially since he has issued threats to turn the region into hell if the Zionist prisoners held by Hamas are not released before a ceasefire is agreed upon in Gaza, and therefore there are clear intentions to give the green light to the Zionist entity to attack the countries of the axis of resistance. The federal government denied Thursday, January 23, 2025, what was announced by the spokesman for the Kurdistan Regional Government, regarding submitting a proposal contrary to the amendment